Everyone who has millions started from zero, from this to that, from nothing to everything. As a divine healer, let me show you the blueprint to heal your deepest wounds, step into your destiny, and become the happiest person you know. My name is Steph Mahony, and welcome to your $1 Million Life podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 8 of your $1 Million Life podcast. My name is Steph Mahony, and today we're talking about divine intervention. I have been on this journey with you to explain to you the pathway of who we are, where we came from, and where we're going. Like, what's the purpose of all of this? And in this journey, like, how do we actually live our best life? Feeling fulfilled, happy, joy, experiencing overflowing abundance. Because the thing is, all of this is available to us, except that we don't even know that it's there, that it's possible for us, and how to tap into this frequency to attain it and implement it into our own lives. So today I want to share a little bit about an accelerated pathway of how to get from where you are at this very moment to where it is that you need to go. And we're going to talk about the Ascended Masters. Before we begin, I want to just give you a little bit of a recap. So we all came from this place of the absolute world, where all things were beautiful, bright, light, all-knowing. We are all sparks of divinity, of God, of the universe, of the divine creator, the divine father. We have different ways of how we express this creator, but it's all the same thing. So where we came from was the absolute world, where God had expanded and exploded his energy to create little sparks of light, but we are all sparks of light of over one big sun. We are all little drops of water as part of one ocean. So the origin of God is within all of us, within everything. God is not just love. God is everything. God is polarity, because we, as little sparks of light, wanted to leave this perfect absolute world and learn what it was like to experience life on our own, to experience individuality, to have our own expression of interest, to try new things, to learn, to grow, to fail. And we can't do that in a place where everything's perfect. We needed to step away, and we needed to enter into a new world, which is the world of duality, Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. And this is the opportunity to explore two sides of the same coin. That's what polarity is. That's what duality is. It's looking at both sides of the same coin, and then through free will, we get to choose. We get to choose who we want to be and how to live our life on earth. And the only two choices that we get to choose from is love or fear. Love is what upward spirals our life into abundance, and fear is what downward spirals our life to a place of rock bottom. And it doesn't mean that we're good or bad, right or wrong, but all of the choices we make have consequences that will either up-level us or decelerate us into a place that we don't want to be. But within us is this beautiful pathway. There within us lives an all-knowing part of us that is still connected to the absolute world. That is our higher self. And within us lives a compass that shows us the pathway to everything that we're meant to do in this world. God created us, but we created the choice to come into this world. And with that, each of us have a divine purpose that we're meant to fulfill. So that compass that lives within us is kind of like the GPS of our life. And that compass only points north. North is to your North Star. North is to your $1 Million Life, your purpose, everything that you're meant to do. And there's infinite amount of timelines of what that might look like through our free will to choose. But if we stay on this path of keep following right and keep doing this, what we feel we know what to do is right, in taking little baby steps of action, then we will get to this place where we're fulfilling our North Star and getting into alignment of what it is that we're meant to do in this world. So even though we may not know what that is, because we came through the veil of amnesia, from the absolute world to into this world, we went through this veil of amnesia where we forgot it all. And that was done on purpose, because how would we truly learn and grow and discover and experience if we already know what we're supposed to do? There would not be any point to it. So we forget it all with this process of remembering. So although we talk about life as a school, we actually have everything within us already. And it's a process of remembering what our gifts are. It's a process of remembering why we're actually here. And it's a process of remembering choosing to do right when it's easier to do wrong. Choosing to move forward even though it feels more comfortable to stay back. These are our free will choices. So we have been talking a lot about this on the podcast, and this is just a little bit of a recap of what this is. But the reason why it's important is because even though your soul's blueprint is hidden from you in this place of amnesia where you forget it all, it's actually completely transparent to the universe, to all that is. And we live in this 1% realm of darkness, but on the other side of the veil is the 99% realm of light. That is where we're from. That is the God essence. And that is where this place of divinity lives, where everything is knowing. There are no secrets. They're all telepathic. They know our thoughts. They know our feelings. They know what we're going to do. Like, they understand it all. It's just that it's hidden from us. So when we can realize that we're not alone, and we actually have an expanded realm of light that's within us, around us, that we can tap into, that is all loving, then imagine what's possible, because their purpose in this world is to help you to accelerate from where you are to where you're meant to go. This experience of talking about the Ascended Masters is to show you this pathway of how you can really tap into this beautiful energy of divinity, a place of divine beings of light who have your highest interests, to allow you to move and pivot throughout your life by just asking, because their purpose is to get you into alignment, to live the highest time limit of your destiny, to become the happiest person you know. They are your divine besties, your spiritual besties, and they know the secret desires of your heart. The thing with the universal laws, however, is that because we come into this world of duality to experience, we are meant to use our own gift of free will. Free will is the freedom to choose. That free will is inherent to all beings that live in this world. So that is this beautiful place of learning and growing and making mistakes and learning and acquiring the wisdom to be better, not bitter, and go to this through this journey of life. But with our free will, that allows us the freedom to carve our own destiny. So even though all of this stuff is actually inherent to us, abundance, happiness, joy, prosperity, is our free will if and when we get there. Because they're always going to magnetize us to this place, but our free will choices allow us to move forward, or through fear allow us to stay back. It allows us to make choices of love and forgiveness, or it allows us to make choices of judgment. We'll keep this back. It allows us to really make choices based on this place of love and fear, and everything is a derivative of these two areas. So when we're talking about free will, divinity on the 99% realms just stands back as observers of your life through non-judgment, through love, through an understanding, just as you would be observing your little baby, your toddler, running around in the sand and living its best life. They're just observers of your life. But they are there to help you. They're there to help me. They're there to help all of us to grow through this place of ascension. Ascension is rising up into a higher frequency from a place of darkness back into a place of light. So when we're talking about the ascended masters, these ascended masters are your spiritual besties to accelerate where you are at this moment to where you want to go. And if you ask for their help, they will be there in an instant moment. And this is what I want to talk to you about, because I have used them in my own life, which has up-leveled and pivoted my life into a new direction. So let me just share a little bit about what that means. But first, understanding that through free will choices, we need to ask with our free will to ask for their help because of the law of non-intervention. They're not allowed to step into your life without you asking for that. And the reason is because they can't interfere with your free will choices. You need to call them in and ask. The only time that they will interfere would be like angels protecting you from something catastrophic happening that could exit you earlier than you're meant and charted to do. Because each of us in our divine purpose, in our blueprints, have exit points of when we're supposed to leave. But when you're not supposed to leave and something's about to happen, that's when you see these miracle stories, that you read from Chicken Soup of the Soul, that kind of swoosh you out of like a huge transport trailer truck before you're supposed to go, right? Like they save you. And they do that because they understand that that's not your time to leave within your blueprint. But other than that, when we are in the flow of our life, we don't have to stay down there. Life is meant to show us the darkness and light as an opportunity to use our free will to always choose love, always choose light, to rise higher. But understanding the difficulties of polarity, it's our free will choice to downward spiral and stay stuck longer, much longer than we really need to. But when you understand how this all works, and you can shift your mindset and learn that you don't have to stay down there, that if you are able to ask for help and intervention, they can pivot you back into the direction of where you need to go. So let me share a little bit about what that looked like for me. Many years ago, when I was very young, I was in a very toxic, narcissistic relationship. And the funny thing is I didn't know that, because sometimes when you're in these environments, you really feel and believe that it's normal. But I was in this environment. It was very, very toxic. I had lost all of my friends. I lost my identity. I wasn't allowed to wear the clothes that I wanted. I was living somebody else's dream for me and pretending to be happy to the whole world. And it was coming to this time when we were starting to talk about marriage. And I was so scared of marrying this person because I felt like I would be trapped forever. And I was getting these visions in my dreams of me running away from the altar. So the time had come when I chose courage over fear, and I had left this relationship. And it was the scariest thing I ever had to do, because I was starting a path that was leading to nowhere. It was dark. I was alone. I had nowhere to go to. And I had no friends to even tell me that I was going to be okay. My parents didn't even know what was happening. And it was the loneliest time of my whole life. I'm like, how does this beautiful young girl with so much potential and so much love in her heart get to this place of isolation and being alone? And my whole world began to crumble and downward spiral to this place of rock bottom. And it was in this dark place that I heard this voice, and it said, "Give your life to me." And I heard it, and I knew who it was. And strangely, I didn't question it. It didn't feel strange to know what was happening, but I heard it, and I was like, no, I have just left a controlling relationship where I was told what to do. I don't want to give my life to anybody. You can go. I got this. And that's literally what I said in my mind. And just like that, it left. And what happened is my life would downward spiral even further into this new place of rock bottom where I was so depressed. I felt so hopeless. And I didn't even want to do this anymore. I'm like, what is the point of all of this? What's the point of living life so alone, so scared? I was bursted out in cystic acne. I had no friends. I was living at home on a Saturday night, just crying in my bed, sobbing, just looking to leave this world. And it was at that point of wanting to give it all up that this voice came back to me, and it said the same thing. It just said, give your life to me. And at that moment, I was like, you know what? You can have it. I don't even want to live here anymore. So it's like in my mind, I somehow threw it like a frisbee and like, have it. And I just like turned the other way, and I just didn't want to deal with this anymore. I was just so mad. And it's not that things shifted and happened immediately, but it did happen on a moment by moment basis where suddenly I started to see like this flashlight shine above my head, where choice by choice by choice, I was starting to see only two choices in front of me on a moment by moment basis. And it was showing me and kind of shining on the light on the right choice to choose and giving me somehow the courage to make this happen. The courage to step outside my comfort zone and start to speak to people again. The courage to step outside my comfort zone and to start to see the light again, and to see the good in people, and to begin to trust people, and to begin to trust myself, and to see that I actually was a beautiful person, that I wasn't a monster as I was made to believe for so many years. And it was really in this place of self-healing that I was going through this transformational process over a few years. And what began to happen is that I was entangling this deep, dark web that I was in on a choice-by-choice basis. And every time I entangled, more light would come in, and I would untangle a mess that I was in, and more light would come in. And what happened is I began to attract new friendships. I began to attract happiness and abundance and new interests and passions. I began to realize who I actually was again, and what was important, what my dreams were, not somebody else's dream for me. And I began to take these little baby steps of action where I learned how to rewrite my story from a victim to a place of unlimited possibilities, that I wasn't defined by my past, that I had still enough time to redefine my future. And although I didn't hear it necessarily in audible words, it was so clear in my heart and clear audience that I knew and I heard so deeply what to do. And these voices within me, this knowing, was instructing me of how to begin to live my best life. And I had come to learn many years later that this was the voice of Jesus. And it wasn't the voice of Jesus through this religious aspect, even though I did grow up Catholic. It was this voice of Jesus who came to me. He actually presented to me, he's like, listen, like, I am your friend. I am here not as somebody that you have to look up to. Stop kneeling down, but like stand up and look at me. And, don't follow me, but walk beside me. Hold my hand and walk beside me. We're going to walk together. And that I had a greater purpose on my life, and that I was meant to do a lot of these beautiful things to show people the pathway of pain being transformed to happiness, from hatred and scarcity being transformed into love. And that I had to go through this myself to feel that darkness, to feel that hopelessness, to transform into compassion for others who are going through this too. So all of these messes, all of the pain that I went through had a divine inherent purpose, which was part of my soul's blueprint to experience, that I had to experience on a moment by moment basis. And that pain turned into my purpose. That mess turned into my message. And all of those endings transformed into new beginnings, which is a chance to be happy again, to get into alignment of my happiest timeline of my life. Because through free will, there are so many infinite timelines that we can choose. But they were showing me this pathway of acceleration of how to get happy fast, how to get into alignment fast. The fastest point to get from point A to point B is from a point A to point B. And many times we're the ones who pivot into the wrong direction, but they keep shifting us back. So if you're in a place like I once was, where you're in the darkness, you feel like you're in an entangled mess that you don't know how to get out of, I want this message to inspire you that, first of all, I've been there. I see you, I feel you, and my heart goes out to you because I know how hard this is. But it is possible for you to shift, up level, and transform your life into a place that is magnificent, because you're not meant to be broken. You're meant to be happy, to shine brighter, and to live your $1 million life, which is the highest timeline of your destiny. So I wanted to share a little bit about who I am and what I'm doing, because I really hope that it's going to inspire you that all endings are new beginnings. And perhaps this conversation is your new beginning, in hope, knowing that you're, first of all, not alone, that there is divine help and intervention. And the Blueprint to Your $1 Million Life program was actually a program I channeled from the Ascended Masters, who we're going to soon learn about, for the sole purpose of helping every single person in this world to pivot from where they are and get into alignment to the higher purpose of their life that will give them everlasting fulfillment and happiness and joy and inner peace and love and nourishing relationships and a fulfilling career and happiness, where joy in the inside bubbles up and becomes like your inner smile, which shines brighter than your outer smile. That is what we were meant to do. And this is the journey of ascension. So I want you to scooch in and snuggle up with me and just join me on this conversation, because I'm going to be talking about who these Ascended Masters are. And through YouTube, you'll be able to take a sneak peek of who they are. And I'm going to be just talking about it for all of our friends on the audio version, of these magnificent beings of light who love you, know your blueprint, know where you are, and know where you're going. And the moment you can call in and ask them for help, they're going to pivot you into this place of divine alignment, in this place of acceleration, from a process of death to rebirth to ascension. There are thousands and thousands of Ascended Masters, but the Ascended Masters I use in my program are 8. And these 8 Ascended Masters are specifically chosen for my program. They have come to me to ignite a light transformation. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But it takes you from a place of death to rebirth to ascension. So if you imagine a triangle, death of your old life, of brokenness, unhappiness, your ego, the darkness keeping you stuck and pulled down, a death of that to a rebirth of your new life through healing, transformation, up level, and to ascension, when you're able to follow the pathway of these masters to accelerate, to experience ascension to the highest timeline of your chosen destiny. So these masters are the ones that I've channeled in the program of the Blueprint to Your $1 Million Life. I am a divine channel. I don't physically see them, but I do hear them. And as when I'm automatic writing, so they write through me. And they've literally written this whole course. So the students in the Blueprint to Your $1 Million Life experience full-on transformation because they're not doing it alone. It's not me. I'm just a mere presenter, a humble presenter that's just sharing the word. But it is through the masters that they're able to do light activations through a person's own free will. They'll come in and help you entangle the light, just as I did once. So I talk a lot about light and darkness. So let's talk about that. Where we come from is pure light, but where we actually feel like in this world seems like darkness. And if you can see this, it's a whole lot of darkness that we can't even perceive light sometimes. And this is where I was at my rock bottom. But when you're able to heal, healing is the fastest way to transform, then you're able to take these stuck layers, kind of like an onion, you're able to peel back one at a time. So they help you to pivot back. So I was, through this program, they're able to help you heal from a scarcity mindset. They're able to help you heal from jealousy and envy. They're able to help you heal from brokenness and imposter syndrome. They're able to help you heal from unforgiveness, from criticism, from a chip on your shoulder, thinking the world is against you, thinking that everyone hates you. They're able to help you heal from the place of inferiority that you're not meant to live a happy life. These are all parts of us that we have hardened within our soul that prevent us from seeing the light. But through light activations, you're able to begin to heal layer by layer by layer. And then suddenly your soul emerges as this beautiful crystal, gorgeous being of light. This is your true essence. This is your soul. This is you from the absolute world. This is your higher self that's connected with you as the avatar of who you are in this earthly vibration. Me is Steph Mahony. But this is your beautiful soul. And you're going through this transformation of getting the darkness that's preventing you from living your best life and exposing, first of all, who you truly are, but raising your vibration as a result to become a magnet to then attract everything it is that you desire to experience. Because it's not necessarily rising your vibration, as we say in the spiritual realm, in the metaphysics, because we're already bright lights. It's more about removing these layers of darkness that are keeping our light from shining, and this is what my program does. This is what the Ascended Masters do. You don't need the Ascended Masters to come to you as only being part of my program. They're available to all of us. This is something that you could ignite. My intention, however, is just to share the ones that I've used, because you'll see how powerful they are in pivoting you into different directions of your life. So this is truly who you are. You're a magnificent soul. And imagine, if you can see this, this is like this huge, gorgeous, flawless diamond. All of us look like this. All of our souls look like this. From the absolute world, we're magnificent. But if we all look the same, sound the same, seem the same, like none of us have individuality, right? So that's why we came to learn and grow and expose. But the beautiful thing is that even when we leave, our characteristics are actually embedded into our soul's matrix. We all have our own thumbprint in this universe, which is a part of our personality that we've acquired and developed. You know, the sassiness of who we are, the humor of who we are, and so many lifetimes, right? But this is the essence of who you truly are. So let's dive in and talk about the Ascended Masters and the magnificence of who they are, but more importantly, how they can help you to shift up level and step into a higher timeline of your life. So I'm going to share my screen right now. All right. So these are the Ascended Masters of just a snip that I saw on social media, through Google, through somewhere. So all credit goes to the person who has created this. But all ascended masters are actually people who have lived human incarnations in this world. They have walked through the fire, they have gone through darkness, they have healed, transformed, and neutralized their karma, and they have done something so remarkable in this world over many lifetimes. But their last lifetime, they faced so much darkness and transformed it into something so remarkable that they were able to then ascend, because it proved to the universe that they were able to choose love in all of their actions. They were able to rise above the situations through love. The answer is always through love. So you're going to see in this this photo is pictures of people you may or may not recognize. There is Buddha, Christ Jesus. We have Sanat Kumara, Mary Magdalene. We have Mother Mary. We have, let's see, who else would you recognize? Almoira, who I'm going to talk about shortly. There's Hathor, one of the Egyptian goddesses who I'm actually very connected to. Hilarion, which is a very, very powerful being. So when you take a look at this photo, this is the energy that's being vibrated back to you. They didn't have one shot at life. They've come here through many, many, many lifetimes, experiencing life just as you are, with not knowing their soul's blueprint, with not knowing what to do, how to do it. But the more that they've been able to transform by choosing love, the higher their vibration was, until they reached this path of enlightenment, until they were able to rise above these dark clouds back into the sun and look down and see the world as the truth of what it is, not the illusion that we project it to be. So not all of these Ascended Masters are in my program. However, all of them are available for you. And if you are feeling inspired to connect with somebody in particular, all I would suggest is to think about them, Google them, learn their stories, have a printed photo of them by your desk, look at them, because when you can hold their energy, then you're actually able to bring their energy right instantly into your aura. So just as an example, I have Almoira, who is on here as well. This person, Almoira, is, aside from Jesus, who I always keep his book, telepathically, like, I think we just understand each other. So when I look at this, I instantly get, channels of wisdom and information just coming to me. And that's why I have their photos that are around. But this guy in particular, although he's on my program, he is such a force to be reckoned with. In one of his past lives, he was Abraham in the incarnation, as we know in the First Testament of the Bible. And he is very, very, very powerful. And his whole thing is urgency. Like, he sees life and time on earth as so sacred, and he wants all of us to just stop what we're doing, get up, and just go. We have so much to do as humanity to get us out of the mess that we're in, to bring us back into this place of light. And if each of us can just step up and do our little tiny part in this world and go, then the miracles that can happen, the momentum that can happen, the light opportunities that can happen with our free will joining together is unstoppable. So he is all about, like, listen, just get your coffee cup, get like change, and just go. Just stop waiting. Like, we have business to do, And maybe, like, I know his energy is within me, which is this unstoppable force to keep pushing forward. Whereas when I channel Jesus, for example, I have him in my heart chakra and my throat chakra, and he's in my energetic matrix where, like, we're connected on a heart basis, and his wisdom comes out of me as divine truth. And this is what I teach, and this is what I talk about, to help people that it's not where we started it's really not about the destination, to be honest with you. It's about the journey getting there. And that journey getting there, we can choose through free will to be green, scary monsters, or we can be beautiful beings of light. We get to choose that. So my hope and inspiration is that that journey that we get from rock bottom to $1 million life, our life, the highest timeline of our destiny, is that we transform and activate the highest potential of who we truly are. So all of these ascended masters hold a very specific energy based on who it is and what you're doing. One book that I would really inspire you to consider taking a look at, if this interests you, is called The Divine Masters Ancient Wisdom by Kyle Gray. This book is literally shifted my life. I use this as light activations in my program. Kyle Gray has become this like fundamental person in my teachings just based on the information that he's collected as well, because we're all brothers and sisters in this journey together, and the information that he has is so powerful. So if this is something that interests you, then I would highly recommend to go grab it from your local bookstore, through Amazon, wherever you buy your books from. But it really will shift, transform, and begin to propel you into this next timeline of your own destiny. So let's begin. I start off my program, The Blueprint to Your $1 Million Life, by activating the Divine Director. This is such a powerful being. It's the Divine Director who kind of intervenes with your life. He is the facet and heart of the Creator, according to New Thought teachings. And his energy is actually merged directly with God's divine plan, which means that we're able to, he helps us to access our divine plan that's meant for us, understand it, and support us to take us where we're actually meant to go. He is part of the whole divine universe of the world, of Mother Gaia, and is able to pinpoint who you are in the important place that you bring into this world. And he's able to help you to accelerate it. So we use him to help you as a guide to begin to transform. What my students say in this program is that when they begin doing light activations with these ascended masters, with the teachings that I have, the affirmations that I give, they actually are, some of them have experienced their energy coming in to their body and experiencing who they are, what they're doing. And it kind of helps to just shaken things up. Sometimes it goes in deeper and it's bringing up things that they've tried to suppress for so long because it's been painful. But the thing with suppression is that you can't heal what you ignore. So they'll bring these things up so that you can face it and then transmute it. And because they're doing this journey with you, they help you to transmute this faster. So instead of sitting in pain and suffering, they help you to acknowledge it, flip it, and rise above it. And everything that you're able to face and transmute, you then are able to heal. So the things that used to bother you no longer will. It becomes more of a memory that you can look back at, but you see the wisdom of what it was trying to teach you. You see your growth of how you're able to rise above it. And those things that were entrapping you are now a place of freedom because you've risen above the circle that's keeping you trapped. So this is our Divine Director, amazing guy. Number 2 is Saint Germain, and he helps with karmic releasing. So he is the keeper of the violet flame, which is an energetic energy. It's a violet flame, as it says. And what it does is transmute. This is the Ascended Master of Alchemy. Alchemy is being able to transform one thing to another thing. For example, it's, these ancient tales of being able to transform base metals into gold, from water into wine. And what Saint Germain says is the biggest degree of alchemy, the biggest change that one can actually see is the change of a human soul, the human spirit, from transforming from darkness into light. That is even more powerful than transforming water into wine or a base metal into gold. Us being able to transform as the darkness of a human soul, if you remember, back into the light is the greatest degree of success that they can see. And this is what their purpose is, to help us. So the violet flame isn't meant to take away all your problems, that they suddenly don't exist. But what they do is they help you to move beyond the limiting stories and beliefs. They help you to overcome family drama. It doesn't burn away a situation. Instead, it transforms it into something lighter that you're able to face, that you can have the sudden courage and choose courage over fear to be able to face the things that once kept you stuck. Because in this lifetime as a human being, there is no such thing as a spiritual bypass. Like, we are all meant to go through things, to face things, to overcome things, to transform. That is what our purpose is. If you can remember, the bigger percentage degree of darkness that you're facing, of challenge or obstacles, is the same percentage or propensity of light and blessings and acceleration and abundance that's going to come once you overcome that test. So it's kind of like a bow and arrow. The more that they're able to stretch back, the more you're able to face this darkness within you and heal it, is the more you're going to be able to propel. It's the same percentage propensity that you go back, that you're going to move forward. So I'm actually going to be sharing Saint Germain's light activation from my program so that everybody here can have a taste of what this is. He is absolutely an amazing, amazing ascended master that's able to shift, transform, and heal all of this dark energy in and around us into something lighter. And it's able to transform you from the inside out. And when you can transform the inside wounds back into light, that's when you become a magnet for abundance and happiness and joy and loving relationships. So that is why I'm being called to share one of them, one of his light activations for you from Module 2 on YouTube. So I'm going to post that separately. So it's something that you'll be able to easily access and meditate on every morning to help you shift and transform your life. Lady Nada. So in my program, The Blueprint to Your $1 Million Life, we use astrology to identify what the karmic strongholds are of a person in their current life and in their past life. If you can remember, karmic strongholds are the lessons that we're meant to learn, but many of them become entrapped because they're so painful that we don't want to face it. And we pretend sometimes we hide it. And sometimes that happens with toxic positivity, where we're like, oh, no, I'm fine. My life is perfect. Look at my Instagram reels. My life is perfect, right? Meanwhile, we're so broken and crumbled inside. So my astrology report bisects all of the illusion from each other, and it goes right down to you and like who you truly are as a soul and what it is that you are trying to overcome as a soul, and identifies what your life looked like from the 1800s, from the 1900s, and from this life. So when we're able to identify that karmic stronghold, whether it's unworthiness, fear of rejection, abandonment, there's so many of these things that each of us are facing, and it doesn't make us bad people, it makes us human. So we're able to identify that and place awareness. The moment you can place awareness on something is the moment you can heal. So we list all of this out. We list the parts of our ego that we need to heal, not eliminate, because our ego is part of us, but we need to heal it. And through this activation with Lady Nada, she works with the karmic board to present to them everything that we are. And she's able to help us release a lot of these attachments that are keeping us stuck, keeping us playing small, keeping us from living our best life. So one of the things I love from Kyle Gray, I'm just going to read it out here. Kyle Gray says that karmic blockages are often misunderstood. Many people think that blockage is a punishment from the universe because of bad choices or wrongful behavior. But it's not that. The universe, God, is on our side. It just wants us to have a positive experience here on earth, but it also has to honor our choices and experiences. So through free will, we get to choose, but all of our choices have consequences. And that's what I was trying to say before. Sometimes those consequences, if they're rooted in fear, they downward spiral us to this place where we feel really stuck and trapped. But if we make choices that are based on love and a higher good, and it upward spirals us and actually attracts karmic blessings to us. So Lady Nada is the Ascended Master who really, really does this amazing job in helping to release these strongholds. The bigger your belief in this, the bigger your intention to release this is, the bigger degree you're going to feel a shift and change in your life. And that is with everything. It all starts and ends with your belief. If you believe this is ridiculous, you're just not going to receive any benefit to this. But if you believe that there's some truth, and if you believe that, hey, maybe this girl's onto something, maybe I'm going to try, then that can create a little tiny portal in your aura of acceptance, of surrender, of like, yes, please help me. You know, surrender is where it begins. Like, I can't do this on my own. Like, I need help. Please help me. And if you can remember, you know, my story when I was being asked, like, give your life to me, and I was like, no. My free will said no. I did not want to surrender. But finally, I was just so sick of being sick of it that I was like, you know what? Have it. Like, I don't even care. And even though I was a little bit sassy about it, I did surrender it, and I did mean every word, because I honestly didn't even want to be here at that point. So when you can come to this place of like, I am so sick of this and I need a change, then these Ascended Masters are going to pick you up from the exact place you're at and help you to begin this healing and inner transformation process. Okay, Kali Ma. Now, for those of you who were tuning in episode 7, we talked about my student testimonials, which went amazing. But one of the testimonial pieces that they talked about was their experience with Kali Ma. Kali Ma is an Ascended Master. And, and for those who don't see her, she's you know, has a necklace of skulls. It looks a little bit scary. And I have to tell you, when I was like channeling this program, I'm like, why am I channeling Kali Ma? Like, this is a place of like light and happiness, and you know. But I was like, no, Stephanie. Like, before you get to that place, you need Kali Ma to destroy the energy that's keeping you stuck, and you need to face your fear. Because remember, it's not about this spiritual bypass where we just pretend to be happy and we're perceived to be happy. If you want to truly be happy in your life, you need to target, identify the origin of darkness that you're facing and transmute it. So Kali Ma helps you to do that. She ignites spiritual change in your life with the opportunity and chance to soar into higher places that you've never experienced, to propel you into higher levels of your destiny. And she is such a powerful energy. I can explain her to you as this force of darkness. She is darkness, but it's the darkness that is emerged from a mother seeing her little child being bullied at a playground, where she will fiercely protect you against all of the illusion, all of the fake people in your life that are trying to secretly bring you down, all of the things you're holding on so tightly for dear life that you're scared to lose, but it's the illusion that's actually, you know, toxic people you're holding on to, toxic relationships, a dead-end job that's bringing you so much unhappiness and pain. she kind of makes the tower fall on these places of your life. And although it feels scary, this is what shifts and transforms and propels you into this new place. So more, my students have experienced her on a very subtle basis. Some have experienced her energy through meditation. One of them actually had the tower fall on his life in a job that was kind of unsure about. And what happened is that he lost his job, but he ended up moving shortly after, weeks later, he moved to Europe. He ended up becoming a professional day trader, now opening up a business to teach other people how to trade options. He met his fiance, the love of his life, his soulmate, and now he's like literally living his best life across the pond in a new country. So he really had to face the strongholds that were holding him back in order to align to his higher purpose. So she helps us to face our greatest fears, not to cower away from them, but to step into this energy of fearlessness and understand that when we do that, great change is underway and we're able to bust through those blockages that are holding us back from living our best life. The next Ascended Master for the Blueprint to Your $1 Million Life program is Serapis Bey. Now, Serapis Bey helps to align you into your true, authentic self, to the highest version of your highest potential. And he helps you to rise above the darkness. So Kalima kind of shakes everything and to move it away, but now he helps you to rise above it. And he says that you cannot shine without darkness. He's one of the original Ascended Masters. He's part of the Great White Brotherhood, which is helping the whole world to actually ascend into a higher plane. He works with the crystalline ray, which is part of my program of activating this new energy. And what he says is really interesting. He's saying like the darkness isn't bad. It's simply parts of ourselves that we haven't yet understood or taken time to know. And he helps to embody and shine your light on this. So when we're able to face our darkness, which is always going to be a part of us, we're all light and darkness. It's not what we're trying to remove darkness, we're trying to heal from it and transform that darkness into light, because it's all part of us. The next Ascended Master is Sanat Kumara, also an extremely, extremely powerful Ascended Master who can look God eye to eye. He is one of the leaders of the Brotherhood. He's an extension of the Divine Mind. And he's actually a divine, a twin flame to Lady Venus, who we're going to soon talk about. And he represents love. And he's a powerful, powerful, he's just powerful, where he is going to blast you off at white knuckle speed into your destiny. And he's a keeper of the light, and he uses the light to pivot you and accelerate you into your chosen path of where you're meant to go. All from a place of love and divine guidance. The next is Master Jesus. As you know, he's my guy. He's everybody's guy, actually. Jesus is the one Ascended Master who is everywhere at once. He is with us right now, and he actually lives in the forefront of your mind and your heart. So, as I had mentioned with my experience, when I first realized that, Jesus really, he's the one that I've been hearing from this whole time, and I had this awakening, the thing that he said is, like, stop idolizing me. What I have, you have too, and you can do better. Don't follow me, walk beside me. Don't pray down with your head below. Stand up and look me eye to eye. We are all brothers and sisters, is what he told me. We're all brothers and sisters. I'm just a little bit further ahead than you are. But eventually, all paths lead to Rome. All of us will eventually get to this place of becoming our own Ascended Masters. The frequency of how long it takes us to get there is our own personal free will. But we are all meant to ascend to this higher place back into the light, where we can then become within the same realm as the 99% light with all that is. And then our job at that time will then be able to help all of the others to begin to ascend to. And that's what his chosen purpose is. The Christos, the light energy of pure unconditional love and acceptance, is the light that's available to all of humanity. And when we call forth this light and we're asking him to lead us, we begin to see the world through a different lens, and we shift to a higher state of consciousness, a heightened awareness. And this is the pathway to ascension, because we begin to consciously look at all of our choices around us, through all of the people and the situations, through the eyes of love. And we can do this on a moment by moment, choice by choice basis. That is when we begin to truly ascend. We begin to understand the whole principles of why we're actually here. So that's why he says the kingdom of heaven is within you, because you have the light within you. And when you're able to heal and transform that darkness, everything within you changes, and the world around you becomes heaven on earth. When you're wounded, the world you experience will come to you wounded, where you get stuck and you're always feeling wounded as a victim. When you feel love and happiness and joy, the world around you is heaven on earth, because everything you experience is love, happiness, and joy. We are the creators of it. We're not the creator and the God of who created the planets, the moon, the stars, but we are the creator of our life right now. We're the creator at a moment by moment basis. This is their godlike feature, where we're the creators of our own life. And our own life is called my story. My story is what we're one day gonna look back at when we cross over, and look back at our life and see everything through the lens of non-judgment, through the lens of love, forgiveness. But we're gonna see and experience everything kind of like a rolling movie tape, one by one by one. We're going to see how our life is unfolding like a movie strip, but through the perception and experience of the people who are around us. So if we created pain to another person, we're going to see that in a movie strip, but we're going to actually feel what it was like to deal with us through their lens, through their experience. Just as if we were a blessing to somebody, we're going to feel that experience. We see our life through the feelings of how we were in the story of. So that is the whole karmic thing, right? Like when we can look at our lives and realize that we're all each other's actors in this movie script. And if I really wronged you and I feel such deep remorse for this, then in our next life, we may come back together, and I'm going to want to change that. I'm going to maybe want to learn my mistakes of what it was like, of what I did to you, but becoming the victim in this case, so that I can learn as a soul what it was like to be on that other side. So this is when we create and form the bonds of what our contracts, blueprints, and experiences are going to be like on Earth, based on these stories that we stream through this movie screen of my life. So here we are talking about Jesus, and Jesus is this, literally is all-seeing, all-knowing, telepathic, sees our heart. And that's why, sometimes when we're like on this journey, we don't even know what we're doing, and we're in this place of darkness, the 1% realm of darkness. We have no idea how to get out of it. I mean, like, he's holding your blueprint. He sees your highest potential. He knows all of the amazing stuff you're going to do in this world. So the moment you can just ask him for help, or just surrender your life or your circumstances to him, he is going to help pivot you back in the right direction, just like he did for me. And When I was really scared of the word surrender before, because I was like, I don't want anybody to control my life. I was already controlled for 3 years. Like, I don't want anybody to control my life. But here's the thing. When you surrender, you're not giving up your dream or giving up your life. You're just giving up responsibility for doing it on your own. You're literally just allowing a higher force that loves you, that knows your pathway, to shift and pivot you back into the right direction for your highest good. So that's where this place of trust comes. And this is where we become co-creators with God, where, they'll create a circumstance for us. And it's our job to say yes and act. How quickly we act and say yes is our own free will. Sometimes it takes us a while to build courage to. And there's no judgment. It allows us to create our own path because we're perfect for where we are meant to be at this moment based on what we have with what we know. But Jesus, with the Ascended Masters, are going to help continue to guide us. And as long as we take that little baby step forward, they'll continue to create the pathway back up north to your North Star for you. It's all about you and making you become the happiest person. Lady Venus. She is magnificent. She is this tall, magnificent cosmic being who represents divine love. She's the bringer of higher consciousness, divine wisdom, and supports ascension for both light workers, which is you, and planet Earth. She brings downloads and understanding and helps truth to be revealed. She's part of the ascension of Mother Gaia, which is the earth, and of your own life stream. She is the twin flame of Sanat Kumara, and she oversees the planet Venus, which is the planet of love. And these Venetians are actually, very similar to angels. And they're here to help guide us, protect us. And the moment we place awareness on them is the moment that they're in your energy and they're here to guide you. Just ask them for help. It's not that you're going to see a strange experience happen in your lifetime. You're not going to see something emerge in front of you and shapeshift. It's nothing like that. But you will start to feel this energy bubble within you and a higher level perspective. You can't solve problems in the same energy it was created in. You have to rise above it to see the solution. And this is what they do to help you to transform and up level. And the activation I do with her, actually kind of like a broad brand stream, is it takes your energy and it expands it energetically, where you begin to receive such high frequency information and downloads and perspectives and wisdom. And it's wisdom of how you can align to your best life. You'll see the world through a different lens. I'm going to tell you a story very quickly. It's called the red car theory. The red car theory is a theory that talks about, when you drove into the office today, how many red cars did you see? And most people I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. And the reason is you didn't know to look for red cars. But if I gave you $50 for every red car that you saw drive into the office, what would you do differently? The difference is you would cash in big because you would identify every red car that you could find. This is the same with downloads and awareness. There is infinite amount of things happening in and around us that we don't even acknowledge because we're not in the frequency to receive it. But what Lady Venus does is that she is going to open your awareness, just like this red car theory, that suddenly you see all these red cars, all these abundance and opportunities and yeses and open doors that you didn't even know were there. And she opens your mind to it. And you're like, oh my gosh, look at this life. This is amazing. How did I think that I was so scarce and poor and living paycheck to paycheck? Look at all these opportunities around me. Then suddenly you're going to see them. And you're going to say yes, and you're going to do something. And that yes is going to be a portal to your next yes, another open door. And that's going to open a portal to another open door. And then suddenly you're quantum jumping, you're quantum leaping timelines. And you're able to get from where you are to where you need to go faster. So this is what she does, and she is magnificent. She's the last ascended master that I have in this ascension process of death to rebirth to ascension. And she is going to shift up level and transform your life like so big. So that is what I have here. All right. So the ascended masters are your spiritual besties. They know who you are, where you're going, how to activate your highest potential so that you can step into the highest timeline of your destiny to become the happiest person you genuinely are from the inside out. They're going to help you to radiate your energy so brightly and attract abundance, opportunities, fulfilling relationships, a fulfilling career, happiness, and to see choices and obstacles through a higher level perspective so that we don't get stuck, that we're able to always rise above to get to this next level and to ascend to a higher frequency. So what I'm going to do, as I promised, is I'm going to follow this particular podcast episode with the module 2 light activation so that you can experience this in your own life, just as my students experience this through the blueprint to your $1 million life. And if the program that I'm talking to you about sparks interest and you're kind of leaning in and you want to learn a little bit more about what this is and how it can help you through astrology, through healing, of understanding the ascension pathway to live your happiest timeline and live in abundance, then I would encourage you to reach out, click the link below, which is my website. You can learn about what this is by booking me in for a free conversation, a strategy call to unlock your $1 million blueprint. And I'm happy to at least just identify where you are in your life to show you a pathway of what's possible. And of course, we speak only in linear terms because we only understand our life in this one straight process. But with divinity, they see all possible timelines for you. And that's why this program is so amazing, because it literally doesn't matter where you are at this moment. They know your highest timeline. They know where you are, how to get you there the fastest way possible. And it's literally just a matter of walking through the steps on a moment by moment basis. But I'm here to be your guide to help show you the pathway of what's possible, because they created this program through me, but for you, so that you can transform your mess into a $1 million life too. Everyone, my name is Steph Mahony. It's been such a pleasure to be with you here today. I wish you so much love. Namaste.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. If you are ready to heal your deepest wounds and manifest your greatest life, I welcome you to explore the blueprint to your $1 million life, a divinely channeled program that is creating miracles for people all over the world. Visit www.stephmahony.com.